The story begins in a mysterious tribe hidden deep within frozen mountains, where life is a daily battle against nature itself. Every single day is a fight to survive. Food is scarce, the weather is merciless, and the tribe depends entirely on hunting gigantic wild mammoths. These massive beasts are their only hope for survival. But whenever the mammoths fail to appear, starvation slowly creeps into the village. Children go hungry, families lose hope, and fear spreads through the camp like wildfire. Everyone understands one terrifying truth: without the hunt, they won't live much longer. Among these people lives an elderly woman known simply as Old Mother, a mysterious figure respected by the entire tribe. She possesses an almost supernatural gift. She can sense visions of the future and hear whispers of events that have not happened yet. One day, fate places an orphaned little girl in her path. At first, she seems like nothing more than another helpless child. But Old Mother immediately realizes that this girl will one day become the center of a destiny far greater than anyone can imagine. Her arrival isn't an accident. It's the beginning of a story that will reshape countless lives. Meanwhile, another child grows up within the tribe, a quiet young boy named Dlay. As the years pass, Dlay slowly forms a deep connection with the orphan girl Evelette. Their friendship grows stronger with every season until it quietly transforms into something much deeper. Long before either of them says a word, destiny has already tied their hearts together. But Dlay carries a painful burden. His father was once one of the tribe's greatest hunters, a fearless warrior honored with the legendary white spear, a symbol reserved only for the bravest among them. It represented courage, leadership, and respect. Then one mysterious night, everything changed. Without warning anyone, Dlay's father secretly left the village. Before disappearing into the darkness, he handed the sacred white spear to his closest friend and gave him one final instruction: "Tell no one where I'm going. Tell no one why." And then, he vanished. The truth behind his departure remains hidden. But the rest of the tribe never learns that secret. Instead, they believe he ran away in fear. As Dlay grows older, the other boys constantly mock him. "Your father was a coward. He abandoned everyone." Those cruel words cut deeper every single year. Only one man knows the real story, yet he keeps his promise and remains silent. So Dlay grows up carrying shame that doesn't belong to him, searching for comfort in the only things he still has: his friendship with Evelette and the hope that one day he can prove everyone wrong. Time moves on. The children become young adults and their bond becomes impossible to ignore. Their relationship is no longer simple affection. It feels like fate itself has chosen them to stand together. Then one unforgettable day, the earth begins to shake. A herd of gigantic mammoths charges toward the tribe. The hunters instantly prepare for the most dangerous challenge of their lives. According to ancient tribal tradition, whoever successfully kills the first mammoth will earn the legendary white spear, become the next great leader of the people, and win the right to marry Evelette. Suddenly, Dlay isn't just fighting for glory. He's fighting for the woman he loves. Evelette quietly approaches him before the hunt and whispers something unexpected. "What if we just leave? We could run away together, start a new life somewhere else, and forget all these traditions." For a brief moment, that future sounds perfect. But Dlay shakes his head. His voice is calm but determined. "No. I won't run away like everyone believes my father did. I'll prove myself. I'll hunt the mammoth, and I'll marry you here before my own people." With those words, the hunt begins. The tribe manages to trap one enormous mammoth inside a massive net. For a second, victory seems certain. But then the impossible happens. The giant beast breaks free and tears across the frozen landscape while dragging the entire trap behind it. Every hunter grabs the ropes, desperately trying to stop the creature's unstoppable momentum. One after another, they lose their grip. Only Dlay refuses to let go. He keeps holding on as the mammoth drags him across the ground and all the way to the top of a cliff. Now he stands face to face with the enormous animal. The mammoth charges. Dlay thrusts his spear forward. Nothing. The attack barely slows the beast. It charges again. This time, with every ounce of strength left inside him, Dlay drives the white spear with absolute determination. The weapon strikes true. Seconds later, the gigantic creature collapses onto the frozen earth. The tribe rushes to the scene. What they see leaves everyone speechless. A young hunter has apparently defeated one of the most powerful beasts alive. Following tradition, the elders award Dlé the legendary white spear and officially declare him the champion. The tribe erupts in celebration. But while everyone else is smiling, Dlé isn't. Inside, guilt is tearing him apart. He knows the truth. He didn't truly kill the mammoth through skill or bravery. The animal became trapped by chance, and fate played a bigger role than his own strength. Accepting glory he didn't honestly earn feels impossible. So, in front of the entire tribe, he makes a decision nobody expects. He returns the white spear, and with it, he gives up his claim to marry Evelette. The crowd is stunned. Evelette is heartbroken. Unable to understand his choice, she walks away from him. In a single moment, two people who loved each other more than anything are forced apart. Not because their feelings changed, but because truth demanded a painful sacrifice. Sometimes, honesty costs more than victory. And for Dlé, that price is the love of his life. One terrifying night, everything falls apart. Out of the darkness, a group of mysterious horsemen storms into the peaceful tribe without warning. They attack with ruthless force, capturing men and women alike before dragging them away into the unknown. Among the prisoners is Evelette, the woman Dlé loves more than anything in the world. By pure luck, Dlé and a handful of his companions escape the massacre. As the smoke settles and the screams fade into silence, Dlé makes a promise that echoes across the devastated camp. I will bring them back, no matter what it costs, even if I have to give my own life. One of his friends desperately tries to stop him. The mountains beyond this land are cursed. Nobody who goes there has ever come back alive. But Dlé refuses to let fear decide his future. If those raiders came from beyond those mountains, then there's no reason we can't go there too. With determination burning in his heart, Dlé begins tracking the invaders by following the horse's footprints and every tiny clue left behind. A few loyal companions choose to stand beside him, fully aware that they may never see home again. The journey quickly turns into a nightmare. Towering mountains block their path. Endless snowfields freeze their bodies. Deadly predators lurk in the shadows, and every step leads them deeper into lands no one in their tribe has ever explored. But this is no ordinary expedition. It's a desperate mission to save their people, and a painful test of love that pushes Dlé beyond his limits. After days and nights of relentless travel, they finally cross the mountains and enter a dense, mysterious jungle. Then through the thick trees they spot something heartbreaking. Members of their own tribe. Their hands were chained together, forced to march like slaves toward an unknown destination. Hidden beneath the cover of darkness, Dlé and his companions carefully sneak into the enemy camp. Timing every move perfectly, they manage to break the prisoners free and spark a small flame of hope. For one brief moment it seems like they've won. But that hope doesn't last. The raiders discover the escape almost immediately and launch another violent attack. Chaos erupts. Most of the rescued captives are seized again, and Dlé, along with his companions, is captured as well. During the brutal struggle, one of Dlé's closest friends suffers a devastating injury that leaves him barely able to walk. So, giving up is never an option. Somehow they escape once more and continue moving forward. Exhausted, starving, and carrying his wounded friend through the unforgiving wilderness, Dlé pushes himself further than he ever thought possible. Eventually, hunger forces him to leave the camp in search of food. But fate has another surprise waiting. Without warning, the ground beneath him collapses. He crashes into a deep pit. Inside, several wild animals are already trapped, including an enormous and terrifying lion. As if things couldn't get worse, heavy rain begins pouring from the sky. Water rapidly fills the pit. The lion starts drowning. Dlé now faces an impossible decision. He could save only himself and leave the beast to die, or risk everything to rescue one of the deadliest predators alive. Choosing compassion over fear, he slowly approaches the trapped animal. "I'm going to set you free," he whispers. "But promise me, you won't harm me." Against all logic, he frees the lion. And then something unbelievable happens. Instead of attacking, the massive beast calmly looks at Dlé, turns around, and quietly walks away into the wilderness. It's a breathtaking moment that proves courage and kindness can sometimes tame even the wildest force of nature. Later, Dlé reunites with his injured companion. The wounded man tells him that during the night he heard desperate screams echoing through the forest. Following the sound, They arrive at a nearby village that appears to have suffered a recent attack. But the moment they enter, the frightened villagers surround them. Weapons are raised. They prepare to kill the strangers. Then suddenly, the same lion Dlay rescued steps into the village. Panic spreads instantly. Everyone freezes. The lion slowly walks toward Dlay. For 1/10 second it feels like death itself has arrived. Dlay calmly looks into the animal's eyes. "I saved your life. Remember me." The lion pauses, then peacefully turns around and leaves without hurting anyone. The villagers stand speechless. What they've just witnessed feels nothing short of a miracle. Instead of treating Dlay as an enemy, they welcome him and his friend with great respect, offering them food and shelter. Curious, Dlay asks, "How do you know our language?" The village elders reveal a shocking secret. Many years ago, a traveler came here searching for a safe place to live. He taught us his language. The realization strikes Dlay instantly. That traveler wasn't a stranger. It was his own father. With excitement and fear mixing, Dlay asks, "Where is he now?" The answer chills everyone. A man named Diamond took him, along with many of our people, to a place from which no one has ever returned. But the elder continues with another astonishing revelation. Our prophecy speaks of a man who would one day arrive. A man capable of speaking with the lion. The elder stares directly at Dlay. "That man is you." Dlay can barely believe what he's hearing. "Why me?" The tribe's leader answers softly, "Because this is the path destiny has chosen." Before Dlay can process those words, his injured companion reveals one final truth that changes everything he believed about his father. "Your father didn't run away because he was afraid. He left to protect your people. He searched for new lands so your tribe would never starve." Shocked, Dlay demands, "Then why didn't anyone tell me this before?" His friend lowers his head. "Because your father forbade us. If everyone had known the truth, fear would have torn the tribe apart. He created the path. And now it's your turn to finish the journey." Dlay and the remaining members of his tribe continue their dangerous journey toward the distant mountains. Day after day they push forward until they finally arrive at the edge of a massive river. One by one, the other travelers climb into boats and disappear across the water, leaving Dlay and his people stranded behind. They don't have boats of their own, and for a brief moment, it feels like their mission has reached a dead end. But giving up was never an option for Dlay. After a long discussion, they make a bold decision. If they can't cross by water, they'll continue on foot. The problem is that the only path ahead leads through a terrifying desert so vast and unforgiving that history itself claims no one has ever crossed it alive. Even knowing that, Dlay looks at his people with unwavering determination and says, "We'll make it across. No matter how impossible this journey seems, we're not turning back until we free our people." The next morning, carrying nothing but hope and courage, they step into the endless sea of burning sand. Days turn into nights and nights into more exhausting days. The scorching sun drains every ounce of strength from their bodies, but somehow they keep moving. Against all odds, they survive the impossible and finally emerge from the other side. And what they see leaves them completely speechless. Towering pyramids stretch into the sky while thousands upon thousands of exhausted slaves are forced to build them under brutal conditions. Men and women stolen from distant lands work until they collapse, treated as if their lives mean absolutely nothing. Every single one of them has been brought here for one purpose only: to create monuments for rulers who believe themselves greater than mankind. The people controlling this empire worship their mysterious leader as a god. They call him divine. They believe he cannot be questioned. Strangely, no one has ever seen his face. Hidden behind curtains and shadows, he gives orders from a distance while everyone obeys without hesitation. Dlay and the chief traveling beside him secretly slip into the slaves' camp, where they encounter a blind old man whose words change everything. The old man quietly reveals that among the three so-called gods ruling this place, only one is truly alive. Curious and desperate, Dlay asks the question that matters most. Then how can he be defeated? The blind man lowers his voice and reveals an ancient prophecy. The false god fears only one warrior, a man marked by a special symbol on his body, a mark that resembles the shining star in the heavens. According to legend, that warrior will rise one day and lead every slave to freedom. Silence falls over the tent. Slowly, every pair of eyes turns toward Dlay. Someone finally asks him, Do you carry such a mark? Before Dlé can answer, another devastating truth comes to light. His father wasn't killed by accident. He was murdered by the very same people who invaded their homeland, enslaved innocent villagers and dragged them across the world in chains. At that exact moment, Dlé's mission transforms into something far greater than rescue. Now it's personal. Soon afterward, Dlé and his companions secretly reach the place where their captured people are being held. But their return doesn't stay hidden for long. The enemy discovers them, and within moments, a violent battle erupts. Steel clashes against steel as chaos consumes the camp. During the brutal fight, one of Dlé's closest friends suffers a fatal wound. Knowing he won't survive, the dying warrior hands Dlé the sacred spear that once belonged to his father, a symbol of honor passed down through generations. Holding it tightly, Dlé makes a silent promise. He will avenge his father. He will save his people. And he will destroy everyone responsible. As the conflict grows, something unbelievable catches everyone's attention. A mysterious symbol is discovered on Dlé's hand. It's the exact mark described in the ancient prophecy. Fear spreads through the crowd, but so does hope. The slaves begin believing that Dlé isn't just another prisoner. They see him as the chosen warrior destined to break their chains, and many risk their own lives to protect him. Disguised as ordinary laborers, Dlé and his allies infiltrate the enemy settlement and quietly prepare for rebellion. Then the unexpected happens. The gigantic elephants, abused for years and forced into endless labor, suddenly break free from control. They charge through the construction site, smashing everything in their path and throwing the entire city into panic. The perfect distraction has arrived. When the self-proclaimed god finally learns about Dlé's existence, he immediately orders his execution. But fate has other plans. As the ruler arrogantly declares that every slave belongs to him forever, Dlé refuses to bow. Instead, with every ounce of strength left in his body, he hurls his father's legendary white spear straight at the tyrant. The weapon strikes true. The man worshipped as a god falls to the ground, dead. Dlé turns toward the stunned crowd and shouts, "Look at him. The one you called a god was nothing more than a man. He could bleed. He could suffer. And he could die." In that single moment, fear vanishes. The slaves rise together. The rebellion explodes across the city, and after a fierce struggle, Dlé's people finally achieve victory. But freedom comes at a heartbreaking cost. During the battle, Evelette is struck by an arrow and collapses. Her life slips away before Dlé's eyes. Consumed by grief and rage, he hunts down the attacker and kills him without hesitation. Watching everything from afar, Dlé's mother calls upon the mysterious spiritual power she has carried for years. Miraculously, Evelette breathes again. Life returns to her. After the dust settles and peace finally arrives, the people from the village that once sheltered Dlé approach him with a small pouch filled with precious seeds. They explain that his father always dreamed these seeds would one day be planted back in their homeland to begin a new future. Dlé honors that dream. He plants them. The seeds take root. Tiny sprouts grow into thriving crops, ensuring that his tribe will never know hunger again. What began as one man's desperate search for the woman he loved became a revolution that shattered an empire and inspired thousands to stand against oppression. And the greatest lesson from this story is simple. A true leader isn't the one who demands worship. A true leader is the one who risks everything for the people standing beside him, even when he has to throw a spear at someone the entire world believes is a god.